Alright guys, so today I'm going to show you how to create a mobile game. Okay, I'm going to show you my process, and once you understand my process, you'll be able to create your own custom mobile game. And this game was a school approached me to say they wanted a mobile game made for their students. Okay, so this is a mathematical mobile game. Okay, so before I even show you my process, let me show you the end result. Okay, so this is the end result right here. So this is a game. So the core idea of this game is students be able to select their grade, as you can see, from grade 1 to 8. Okay, be able to select their grade and then their country, because this is a multinational school, so they have branches in different countries, and then the student will be able to select their mathematical topic, okay, for the game. Okay, so now this game has 3 modes, 4 rather. So there's the story mode, there's time attack, there's survival, and there's puzzle. So these are the game modes a student will be able to choose from in this mathematical game. Okay, so how the game gets played is here. A student gets to select their country, their grade. So for example, they select grade 7. Country, for example, they might select Zambia, and then their topic here, there's addition, there's subtraction, there is multiplication, division, fraction. So for example, a student might choose geometry. Okay, and then after choosing the topic, they can select whether story mode, survival. So for instance, let's say the student selects story mode. Okay, can start the adventure. So this is the adventure. So for let's challenge, what is the perimeter of a sequence with side 1? Okay, so the student be able to select their answer. Okay, for example, maybe they select 4. Okay, so as you can see, once they select here the answer, it's highlighted to say that's the answer. Even here it shows again to say you have selected 4. Okay, so here you can click submit answer. Okay, so as you can see, if the answer is correct here, there's going to be more like stars, as you saw. To it's more like a reinforcing the psychological part of it. It's more like reinforcing the it's more like reinforcing to say they have selected the right answer. Okay, so here we even have badges. Okay, so that's how the game works. Okay, so for instance, here you might select an answer here. Let's say 17. I'll just select that randomly. Okay, so once they select, for instance, 17, the answer, so if the answer is wrong, he is going to say oops, try again. Okay, so this is the mobile game right here. Okay, so I'm going to show you my thinking process. So this mobile game right here, so I'm going to show you my thinking process in how I went about creating this game. Okay, so as you can see here, there's score, there's levels, there's even stake. Right, so now for those who don't really understand prompt engineering, you can check the link in the description. Have a bit of documentation for you to understand prompt engineering and what it is. So this is one of the slides in my in-house, they are in my group where I teach prompt engineering. So this is just a tip of the iceberg of what people who are in that who are taking my course get to learn about prompt engineering. So here we are explaining prompt engineering. So prompt engineering here is the quality of an output always reflects the clarity of input. So this is it's more like the core idea of prompt engineering. Okay, So you can download this. It's very helpful, and then you can go through it. If you don't know prompt engineering, even if you know prompt engineering, it's still something you can go through, and it will enhance your knowledge. Okay, so this is the prompt I wrote right here. Okay, so this is the first step. This is the prompt I wrote right here. So I wrote to say create an interactive math quest adventure game, okay, as an artifact that I can play with it right now. Okay, so now today we are using Cloud AI. Okay, so it has artifacts in it. Okay, so an artifact, it's more like an environment where you can get to interact with your code. You can get to see it in live before you even get it, let's say, to your code editor or whatever you're using to build your let's say mobile game, if it's Android Studio, whatever platform you're using. So with artifacts here, you get to see the code. Okay, yeah. So see, this is my prompt: create an interactive math adventure game as an artifact that I can play with right now. Okay, the game should be, so here this is me describing the game. So math quest, the big emoji adventure. Okay, 360 degrees fruit, okay, frontier. So as you can see here, this game, as you can see, it's an emoji, you know what I mean. So this is more like this is a kids game, basically from grade 1 to 7, 8. So these emojis just to make it fun, to make it interesting. So as you can see here, it's created the big emoji adventure. Okay, so so this is how I went through. So you can also check the link in the description for this documentation. Okay, so this is how I went about creating the game. Okay, so part one is where you do a deep analysis of the prompt. Okay, so so here, format. So this is how you start. Format: create an interactive X. So here you can replace with the kind of game you're creating. Okay, so here on X you can replace, okay, as an artifact that I can play with it right now. Okay, so what this does, it primes the large language model to generate a ready to use complete interactive product, not just code snippets or ideas. Okay, so if you go through these prompt lessons I've provided, you're going to learn that prompt engineering is structured. Okay, it is a structured way of engineering something. Okay, so it's structured from top down. Okay, you start with the highest things in the structure, and then you start going down. Okay, and then you start going down. Okay, that's what prompt engineering is. So as you can see here, I said create an interactive. So here the first thing, the highest level in the structure of this game is interaction. The game has to be interactive. That's why I started with create an interactive math quest adventure game as an artifact. So as you can see, so in the hierarchy, the first thing is interactiveness, meaning the game has to be interactive. Okay, and then the second thing in the hierarchy is math quest. So this is a mathematical game. Okay, and then the third thing in the hierarchy is adventure. The game has to feel like an adventure. Okay, that's why the game has 3 modes. It has a story mode, it has a story mode, it has time attack, it has all those modes. So that's to create a sense of adventure. Okay, and then as an artifact, because I knew I wanted to interact with the code before I even took it further. That's why I said an artifact. So this is an artifact. include. Okay, this is an artifact right here, as you can see. Okay, so I'm able to interact with the game. Okay, so as you can see, this game, exactly the way it looks here, that's how it's going to look even when I'm done with everything. That's how the game is going to look. Okay, so as you can see, as I was saying, hierarchy. Okay, so here, this is where now, okay, so here, this is the component part. This is where now you define the things which are in the game. Okay, so we're talking about hierarchy, so we go to the next part, which is component in the row. So here, the components of the game, we have game title and theme. Okay, and then the other, we have emotionally engaging. Okay, and then we have, so these are the components of the game. Okay, and then we also have word setup, we have directions, vivid mental model. Okay, and then we have user customization. That's where they get to select the grade, country, topic, and personalization for. Okay, so here, as you can see, the title or theme of the game is Math Quest. Okay, the big emoji adventure. Okay, makes it playful. Okay, so these are the rows. Okay, the components and rows of the game. Okay, so you can follow this structure the way I was going about it and create the game that you want. So for example, here you're going to create, maybe it's a car racing game adventure. Okay, as an artifact, you can just replace math here, even here, so you just replace math. Okay, even here, build a fully playable React game where, so this you can leave as is. Okay, and then environment setup, this is now where you get to define the environment of how it's going to be, the game of how it's going to get played. So here there's player spawns in center or flash fruit forest. So this is the environment. So here, just specifically defining how the environment will be in text, you're describing. It's more like a description. Okay, so after environment, you go to game flow. So now the game flow here is how you're going to, how the game is going to be, how it's going to be flow, how it's going to flow rather. Okay, so here, as you can see, if you remember at the beginning, I said prompt engineering is a structured way of priming an LLM for an output. You're just priming the large language model for an output. So as you can see here, I said, so this is game flow. So this is another part in the structure. So the game is how it's going to flow is the first thing when a person opens the game is, as you saw, it's going to ask for the grade. Okay, for their grade. Then it's going to ask for the country. It's going to ask for the country, excuse me, and then it's going to ask for math topic. So in here, I specifically added addition, subtraction, multiplication, fractions, and geometry. Okay, if you want to replicate my game, you can also add other topics. Okay, so here the second part in the game flow is the fruit keeper generates grade appropriate math challenges. So the math challenges the person is going to get are going to be based on their grade, the grade they select, and the contextualization of the game is going to be based on the country. Okay, so as you can see here, as you can see, Okay, so as you can see here, there is the grade. So if what a grade 1, the challenge is a grade 1 is going to select, and the challenges a grade 8 is going to select are going to be different. So for instance, let me just say the last topic I selected was geometry, right? So the grade was different. So let me now select the same topic, same everything, and then you see the questions are going to be different. Okay, so this is the game flow. Okay, so selected fruit highlights, and so this is the game flow of how the game is going to be. Okay, so this is more like a blueprint for creating a game. You can just get it as it is, and then you can edit it and change it to fit your game or your space, the game you're aiming for. Okay, so here the other part is going to be about the feedback system of when a user, okay, feedback system. So when the user gives in an input, what is the response they're going to get is what we are describing here. So here we're saying for the correct answer, forest sparkles, as you saw there were sparkles when I gave the correct answer. Okay, Porto spins apple badge. So as you can see here, as you can see, they are badges. So here, as you can see here, they are badges. Once you give a correct answer, a badge is going to appear here for each correct answer given. Okay, so that's the feedback system. Okay, and then for wrong answer, as you can see, the monkey jiggles, fruits fade. Okay, gives hints. So here, as you can see, fruit there's bed gives hints, try option. Okay, so let me just give a wrong answer. You see, so let me just say randomly select 19. Okay, hoping it's a wrong answer. So as you can see, the monkey here says oops, try again. Okay, and then here there's an option for an int. Okay, all right, so that's the feedback system for the game. Okay, so now we go to the next part, which is the visual features. So the first thing is a 360 immersive forest background with gradients. Okay, so as you can see here, there are gradients in the background here. Okay, it has gradients. So that's the visual part. Okay, as you can see, it changes side to side. So the gradient is side to side. Okay, so as you can see, we are describing how the game is going to be. Okay, so this is the visual feature. So here's going to be smooth animations and transitions, sparkle effect for celebrations, as you saw, and then score tracking and badge collection. Okay, so here, as you can see here, there's a score, level, and even stake. Okay, so now this is going to be customized on how your game is going to be. So for instance, let me show you what I mean. So let me do this. So I'm going to take this. Okay, I'm going to take this. So this is for the math quiz, right? And then I'm going to go to ChatGPT, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell ChatGPT to customize this to be a prompt for a car game. Okay, let me just do that. Okay, so I'm just going to tell ChatGPT to say change, okay, this, okay, change this prompt to be a prompt for a car game, okay, to make our lives easy. But I would advise you to just change it yourself, so that the game is going to be how you imagine it, because what ChatGPT is going to generate here, it's just going to be it's going to be random, okay, it's going to be random, okay. But if you customize it yourself, it's going to be how you imagine it to be. Okay, so let's take what ChatGPT has created, and let's go into Claude, and let's see. Now let's get Claude to generate this game. The reason why I'm going to Claude is because Claude has artifacts, okay, that lets us interact with our code, okay. Yeah, ChatGPT doesn't have, it has artifacts, okay. ChatGPT does artifacts. Let me not mislead you. So this one here is an artifact version of ChatGPT, okay. Let's see their preview. Okay, I didn't notice ChatGPT. Wow, okay, as you can see, even ChatGPT has artifacts. It's been a while since I used ChatGPT, so I couldn't even notice that they added artifacts. Okay, so here, so as you can see, like I said, what ChatGPT is going to create is going to be random. So here it has only changed the code to have cars in it instead of having moving cars. Okay, that's why I said you should customize it yourself. Okay, so okay, let's try to customize it again for so that we have moving cars. Okay, okay, where is I want to edit the last part. Okay, let me do this. Okay, so as you can see, this is what Claude has generated. Okay, so here you can choose levels. Okay, you can choose, so let's just select Japan this time around. Okay, math topic, start the adventure. So as you can see, it's still the same thing like what ChatGPT did. Okay, so here is still a math game. Okay, so now let's try to let me just open a new chat. Okay, let me just open a new chat. Okay, so I'm going to tell ChatGPT to create it, okay, into a racing game, okay, into a car. So I'm going to tell ChatGPT to create it into a car racing game with moving cars. So when you're talking, you are prompting and a large language model, you have to be very descriptive. So that's why here I'm saying recreate this into a car racing game, okay, with moving cars. Okay, so that's the core idea of prompt engineering. You have to be descriptive. Okay, so here I'm going to reinforce it to say make a racing game okay, make a racing game, not a math game. Okay, so let's see what ChatGPT will say. Okay, okay, so this is what ChatGPT has it has redefined the game here, as you can see. Okay, it has redefined the game. So let's see what kind of React version ChatGPT is going to create of the game in artifacts. Okay, so let's see what it will create. Okay, so here what ChatGPT is generating is just it's random, like I said. Okay, just take my okay, so it has failed to run ChatGPT. So just take my blueprint and customize it to be the way you want it to be. Okay, and then you're going to create a game that specifically meets your imagination. Okay, yeah. So let's see now what Claude will generate, okay, in artifacts, the kind of game. So as you can see, it's still the game is still a mathematical game. Why is it a mathematical game? Because if you remember what I said about prompt engineering, I said it's something which is structured. It's still a mathematical game because at the top level, when you check the game there, it's still here, as you can see at the top level in the hierarchy. The game is still a math game. So anything it's going to create is going to be it's going to relate to mathematics. Okay, that's why you need. So if you want to create a game specifically, you have to rebuild everything from the ground up, not just copy and paste like I'm doing here. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. All right, I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes, but you need to, for your case, to build the game that you want, you need to change everything. Okay, so here enter your car name, choose your car. There's even a more difficult okay, so just say I'm going to say car, I'm going to say Okay, so I'm going to say medium. Okay. Oh, okay. So as you can see, Clad has generated the game, but the car is not moving. Okay. Why is it not moving? Because in here we didn't put an option for the car to move and everything else. It was just random. Okay, that's why the car is not moving. Okay, so you guys can just take my blueprint and then edit it to be specific of how you want your game to be. Okay, and for more understanding on how my thinking process when creating or when writing prompts, you can just check these two lessons I have for you. Okay, they are very in-depth. Just take your time to understand each stage of it. Okay, so here, as you can see, by the end of the lesson, okay, so just check the link in the description. You're going to find this. By the end of the lesson, you're going to understand what prompt is and how AI interprets it. Learn the 3 levels of prompt complexity. Okay, practice tuning vague instructions into powerful prompts, like I've been saying. Okay, get your first exercise in structured prompting. Okay, so yeah, you can go through this. Okay, so as you can see here, there's a definition for a prompt and everything else. Okay, once you, I would advise you, before you even you pause the tutorial right now and then you go through this. After you've went through this, now you come back and watch this tutorial. That is going to give you even more in-depth understanding of where I'm coming from when writing prompts. Okay, yeah, so so I didn't just end at here, at this stage of the game. Okay, so I did some iterations. Okay, so I bet there's the first version, so let me show you the first version, and then on that first version I now started adding more things on top of it. Okay, so as you can see, so the first version didn't even have mods. Okay, it just had an option where you can select the grade, country in the topic. That's all. There wasn't an option to choose the game mode. Okay, I later added that down the line. Okay, yeah. Alright guys, so that's how you can go about creating a game. So this has been just a quick overview. Okay, so what you do, just download this prompt here, in the link in the description, and then you also go through these 3 documents I have provided also. After you do that, and then you come back to this, be able to create any game you imagine. Okay, the limit is your imagination with this. Okay, this is a game creation blueprint right here. You can create any type of game you want with this. Okay, all right guys, so if you have any question, just drop them in the comment section, and I'll be able to respond to you. All right.